You could say Apex Legends has taken this mostly Fortnite-dominated world by storm. The game hasn't even been out a week yet, and it's already being dubbed the Fortnite Killer. But we'll see about that. Like many people, I hopped on the Apex Legends bandwagon and wow, I was honestly blown away. When you first start the game, you're greeted by a cutscene, and then you must play the tutorial in order to hop on Battle Royale. I love playing as the Wraith. She's kind of OP. I'll admit though, I don't really fully know how to use her yet. After a few matches of selecting the Wraith, I select her yet again. This time, however, it lags me out to the main menu. I mean, when you already got 10 million downloads and over 1 million playing, issues are bound to happen, especially with a new game. But what happened next was another cutscene. It showed the Wraith. She was in an IMC hospital. It showed that her real name was Lily. She was hearing a voice. It was a terrible voice. It sounded like a demon or something not of this dimension that we would associate ourselves with. She tried to ignore the voice, doubting it was there, thinking that she was just a schizophrenic and that would explain why she was at that facility. But one day the voice told her that she could control her newfound powers. With nothing but days lost and her slowly going insane, the cutscene showed me that she was willing to try anything to leave that facility, even if it meant certain death. After a few days of truly listening to the voice, thinking it was there to help her and to guide her, she was able to open her very first portal into space and time. What happened next is the reason I'm telling this story. She goes through the portal she created. When she arrives in the new dimension, she's greeted by the voice she was hearing. He looked nothing like a human. He was hideous and, quite frankly, scary and intimidating to look at. You know when you see something, and you're just instantly freaked out, your hairs stand up and goosebumps cover your whole body, and your thoughts are to look away immediately and to think of something happier. But curiosity, well, it's not that forgiving. This dimension was filled with terrifying things everywhere she looked. There were more like him. They could even shapeshift. The person who was calling to her in our dimension changed his form to a more suitable one, a more human appearance. He taught her that she could come here anytime she wanted, to evade violence of any kind, whether it be gunfire or just to get away. But she was warned that when she came here, they didn't like outsiders. She looked around her. She saw various beings being tortured, various heinous acts of bloodshed and violence. She would fall prey to them in this new dimension if she wasn't careful enough, because once again, they didn't like outsiders. She looked around, horrified, and wanted to go back to the comfort of that facility that she once thought was a prison. She looked back at the once horrible figure that turned human for her sanity, and asked it, "Why? Why me?" He then turned back to his true form, and then tried to kill her, to make her feel what she was seeing around her. Her fight-or-flight senses finally took over, and she was able to open a portal back to our dimension. She found she couldn't see when she got back. She had become blind due to the trauma that she had endured. The voice was a constant, however. It told her to fight in the Apex games for answers. You'll see the Wraith on the battlefield, I guarantee you. But just know what she goes through when she goes to that other dimension. Just know her blindness is caused by the horrifying things that no one should see. And even if they do, they lose their sight. But she keeps fighting and moving forward. Each match she plays, she is closer to finding the truth and maybe regaining her vision.